So I watched another movie last night, but I fell asleep before I could do the video review. So I'm doing it now here in the morning. And this was Mitchell Leisen's Remember the Night from 1940. It's the final film written by Preston Sturges before he decided he wanted to make his own films, partially because of the changes Leisen did to Sturges' script. Most notably, he altered Fred MacMurray's character a lot because MacMurray is not very verbose. He's not really a Sturges leading man. So Leisen helped sort of tailor the film to MacMurray's strengths. This is a Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck film. They made 4 films together, I believe. Obviously, the most memorable being Double Indemnity. This was one of several films that MacMurray did with Mitchell Leisen, including one I watched earlier this year that I'm forgetting the name of. That had Cloud Colbert in it, and obviously they made a bunch of movies together. And this was the movie in which Stanwyck and Preston Sturges met, and Sturges said he would write a screwball comedy for Stanwyck. And as we all know, that brought us The Lady Eve, one of the best, funniest films of all time. So in this film, this is a Christmas film, and somehow I had never seen it before. I'm glad I finally saw it. Leading up to Christmas, Barbara Stanwyck's character Lee steals a bracelet and then attempts to sell it immediately at a pawn shop because she's really bad at being a thief, because obviously she needed better friends, really. The assistant district attorney, Jack, played by Fred MacMurray, is really good at prosecuting women because it's a little sexist here where they have different ways of talking to juries about women and men so that they don't pity the women and let them go. However, he sees that he's losing and the jury's going to let her go, so he helps get it postponed until after Christmas so that he can get a conviction. However, he then feels bad that now she's going to spend Christmas in jail, so he arranges with his friend Fat Mike to get her freed. But Fat Mike, being the romantic that he is, brings her up to his apartment, and at that point you get some really great racy dialogue. And you discover that, he didn't really want to try to trade sex for her freedom, but that's what's implied. So then they have dinner and later discover that they're both from Indiana. They're Hoosiers. And so Jack decides he'll drive Lee to her hometown, which is about an hour away from his hometown, because he's on his way to his hometown. However, when they get to her hometown, they discover, first there's some shenanigans with a cow and running away from Pennsylvania, because you never want to get lost in Pennsylvania. Later, they discover that Lee's mother is horrible, and that is part of why she is the way she is, and the rest of the film takes place, for the most part, at MacMurray's parents' house, played by Beulah Bondi, where they're very nice and sweet, and it shows sort of the difference between her upbringing and his upbringing, and why he became who he became and why she became who she became. And obviously they fall in love, and then there's problems because she's, a 3-time felon and is about to go to prison, and he is this rising star district attorney. And this is not a pre-code film, so because she really did steal the bracelet, you saw it, she has to get punished. She's gonna go to jail. And that final sequence with them is very heartbreaking and beautiful. So this is a romantic comedy. Bits of it are screwball, but then it gets really dark and sad in a few moments, especially at Lee's mother's house. And it just runs the gamut of emotions, and I think is a very successful film. I can definitely see how Leisen's sort of style sort of fought with Sturges, because Leisen can get a little sentimental in his films, and Sturges can too, but Sturges does it in a very different way. The other film they made together, Easy Living, I think is tonally a more successful match of their two skills. You also have the only Jean Arthur in that one. And you see callbacks to Easy Living in this film and some of the names and things. And what I love about Sturges is his he has so many things that reoccur in the Sturgis films that you can tell he wasn't able to do when he didn't have control in a film like this. And then you go and watch his huge, wonderful 4-year streak, 8 films in 4 years or whatever it was, and it's just so amazing. And he has the stock players, and it's all the same Sturgis verse. I love Preston Sturgis. He's one of my favorite writer-directors of all time. So this was Remember the Night. It's a very sweet Christmas film. It takes place between Christmas and New Year's. I can see definitely why people watch it every year. It's maybe not my favorite from anybody involved, but it's definitely a great film, and I recommend seeking it out. I don't know if it's on DVD, but it's definitely on TCM every once in a while. It's on Watch TCM right now, so you can watch it till New Year's, actually. This is 1940s Remember the Night, written by Preston Sturgis, directed by Mitchell